2019, a random dev made a small Roblox game expecting nothing, but to his surprise, this marked the beginning of the highest earning game with a massive community, many historical moments, and more. But to find out how this happened, we need to go back 7 years ago, when a player by the name of MyGame43 published his first successful Roblox game. For years upon years, he spent hours on game after game, only for them to die out. So after getting players on his biggest project yet, he was delighted. Still far from #1 though, but with the gameplay matching some of his biggest games nowadays, you can tell he's a man with a plan. But after working on the game for 2 years non-stop, MyGame thought of an idea that would change everything. You see, around this time was when games like Pet Sim, Bubblegum Sim, and Public Bathroom Sim always got praise. And knowing how to build cool games, MyGame had the brilliant idea to make a whole new group to create his own parkour sim. And of course, the game went crazy. That wasn't meant to happen. The issue with most simulators is that they get boring fast, and Parkour Sim was no exception. So at this point, he had option A and option B. He can either abandon Parkour Sim to grow his already beloved game. Smart choice. Yeah, that sounds good. Or completely scrap both to make a new game that'll likely fail if it's garbage. Wait, why would he do that? Considering his dream is to own the most popular game, there's no way he's doing this alone. Let's hope he makes the right choice. But while he decides his fate, let us meet our second main character, Rip Indra. Throughout these years, Indra has been like a brother to MyGame, helping him with games before they even got players. And just like MyGame, he's determined to make something great. So remember him for later. It's 2019 already? New year, new achievements, right? Well, not really, because their main game randomly stopped updating. Players were getting impatient, and with their projects fading away, you may think that MyGame and Indra gave up. But it's the complete opposite. Using the group they made for Parkour Sim, the two of them worked for months on a new game, Blox Piece, which is set to release in a month. The game is a combination of their last two, so it had to be good, and they knew the fans would love it.
How original. That game sucks. No. Just no. What about Elemental? Update Elemental. Can you update Elemental?
What?
Although the game wasn't out yet, players weren't happy. All they cared about was an update for Elemental Battlegrounds. Blox Piece's release can either go well, or embarrassingly horrible, making months of work and sacrifice for nothing. But if you truly want to be the best, you must always push forward. On June 7th, Blox Piece finally released. You cyberbully these guys for money to buy fruits, which gives you powers in battle. The first players have joined, ready to adventure. Although their game was very simple, the pioneers somehow found ways to break it not even a day later. Like this guy rapidly switching his weapon, which somehow combines them. This may look like a bad thing at first, but these kinds of glitches make the game more enjoyable, which may help it grow later on. However, to be considered the #1 game, it needs to achieve all these goals. If MyGame and Indra want that title, they needed to play their cards right. Instead of something basic like a new egg, they added new fruits to the game, each with their own abilities. And to make grinding more fun, they also added 3 new islands, and each with their own enemies, helping players level up. Progress was being made, but all these updates would be useless if people didn't care. Thankfully, the players had other goals in mind. With money, you can buy the best fruits, weapons, and fighting styles, which were very fun to fight with. So to keep the game more alive, players kept finding strange ways to make money. Remember the islands I showed you before? Well, this one in particular led to a cool discovery. By simply going to this temple, breaking in, and running in circles, you can farm up to $7,000 per minute. Speaking of money, the devs were making tons of it, thanks to their special strategy. Instead of being like most devs and making random updates, they actually let us choose the updates. You gotta give people what they want. This went on for months, where more challenges, weapons, fruits, and even mysteries were rolled in. The community built hype around those with fun glitches, speedruns to max level, and long hunts for insanely rare weapons. We had a reason to play. The devs even redid a bunch of fruits to make the game more fresh. Everything seemed to be going well until... It's November, and the game hasn't updated in 3 months. Is Blox Piece just another abandoned Roblox project? Well, let's find out.
Today's the big day. I've been working for 3 months on this update, and it'll be the best thing anyone can feast their eyes upon. Here we go.
Welcome to the second sea. We got 5 new islands, a new level cap, a factory that gives you free fruits when raided, and of course new weapons. But best of all, they made a new rarity, mythical items, which made players spend hundreds of hours to get them. A great game must keep players playing. Like this guy spending 1 day straight, grinding for fruits in a new factory, and this other guy is speedrunning for 2 days for max level, which sets the stage for even bigger mega projects. With a whole new realm of new locations, we're bound to have memorable moments bringing the game to life, which we're gonna go go over with the help of our sponsor, World of Tanks. With over 800 tanks and countless ways to crush your enemies, the game will always feel fresh, unlike Blox Piece at the time. I forgot to mention, the game was a complete copy of One Piece, so it was renamed to Blox Fruits.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Every tank has 7 visibility checkpoints and 2 view range ports, which pretty much stalks your enemies with these rays. But don't get too close, cause otherwise you'll need more armor and turrets to keep yourself safe. Speaking of armor, more accessories were added to the game, which players combine with fruits, allowing them to achieve immortality.
Nah, that's just broken.
But despite armor being strong, they're weak compared to these guns that obliterate even the strongest tank armor, reminding me of this next historical moment. The new world also came with the dough fruit. By using its roller move, then sitting down, you can obliterate your enemies with fruits, and while rolling at the speed of light. And just like Roblox, anyone can play for free on PC. So download World of Tanks right now with the link below. Not only will you get tons of credits, 7 days of premium, a tier 6 tank, and free rental ones, I'll also give a new player 10,000 Robux. You don't want to miss it. Now if you can excuse me, I have a story to continue. It's mid-2020 and with the game being completely revamped, the updates had to stand out, cause otherwise... Their first move was to a huge new area, then build a lab on top that allows players to simulate raids. These raids come in handy because they give you fragments to awaken your fruits, basically a buffed version of them. But a smart move the devs made was starting their own channel. Not only did they leak future updates to build hype, they also filmed questionable videos like my game obliterating 5 admins with the new Quick Fruit Awakened with over 9,000 levels, then gets one-shotted by Indra's special admin powers, and all for a good 3 million views. Clips of admins trolling as well as the new features brought insane traffic to the game, so the admins trolled even more by spawning a bunch of deadly sea beasts in someone's video, as well as showing off even more secret abilities you can only dream of having. Speaking of abilities, the community got so strong to the point where they would do anything for a good fruit. Like if you went on eBay and searched up Blox Fruits, there's people selling accounts for ridiculous prices. $400 for a dough fruit, why do people buy this stuff? But on the flip side, we had people like the Great Ace, dedicating his life to rolling hundreds of fruits, just to give them all away like a Giga Chad. The next few months were pretty good. I mean, updates were kinda slow cause they only released every 6 months, but that doesn't mean the game was abandoned. The admins did mini updates to keep players hyped, like raising the max level and bounty which you get from killing players, adding a small island to the second sea, and funniest of all, making custom ranks you earn for killing YouTubers in game. With great game mechanics and a solid fanbase, the team decided to work on their biggest update yet. At this point, Blox Fruits was a cinematic universe, with 3 massive connected worlds and many new fruits in a new update. But we still have a problem. With the game being one step closer to number 1, we're bound to have bad apples. You see, this whole time, the game didn't have trading. All you could do was drop your fruit and pray they trade you back. Nope. So in the update, the devs made a safe trading system. Each fruit had an official value so you know if you're getting scammed. I don't know how much this helped, but it did make players go ballistic. Around this time, my game and Indra did something clever. The game was very competitive and players always compared them. So to gather attention, they 1v1'd with admin commands on a massive YouTuber's livestream.
Noob.
It's a new year, and when I say the game was making progress, I mean it. Cause history was being made left and right. For the first time, players broke Roblox itself. No, not just by crashing Roblox with a high player count. Every world had a level requirement, but players found a way to break into the first sea without a high enough level. By sailing to this island, beating up the Rip Indra boss and rejoining, the servers would break and somehow let you win. But the game's success was not only from glitches, but mega projects too. Remember the guy who gave away hundreds of fruits? Well, that same guy spent days making 100 accounts just to farm all these fruits to give away. Like, this is crazy. But unfortunately, the game trolled him, deleting lots of progress. But the game itself was progressing amazingly. Of course, we had the occasional screw up, like this glitch where quests gave 10 times more XP than usual. But with fruit designs being out of this world and players constantly pushing the limit, the devs were ready for their biggest challenge yet. But to do this, they needed help from their trusty friend. Yeah, let me explain. While players were messing around, the devs spent a year on a 4-part update. Most notably, the new mythical leopard fruit, which players fell in love with. Knowing how strong the fruit is, they invented an interesting speedrun. You start with the worst fruit, then slowly trade up to leopard. This creative idea, along with many other parts of the update, brought many weird glitches and memorable moments, leading the game to 1 million players and 10 billion visits. At this point, most people would just relax and celebrate on their own. But you already know, the devs weren't most people. Instead, they made an entire event. You earn confetti to buy OP fruit, not only to celebrate how far the game has come, but to also attract and help new players. And big surprise, players made this into another way to grind non-stop. Like, come on guys, relax a bit. Oh, and speaking of new players, 2 of them were these random guys.
I've spent days upon days playing Blox Fruit. I'm max level.
Chandler, look, you are an absolute sweat.
Now we're in the current year, with viral events like an admin trolling a hacker live,
Get out of here, boy. Get her done.
YouTubers messing with admin, and this guy again rolling fruits for an entire month straight, and a future update that'll literally glow up the game. The community is stronger than ever. I guess hard work does pay off, but lots of the success came from players and devs just having a good time and messing around. I guess it wouldn't be fair to call a single game number 1. Big or small, they all have something special to offer. If a game is